Welcome to Meet the Artist. This program is brought to you by Hedberg Public Library and JATV Media Services. I'm your host, Teresa Wynn. Meet the Artist features various local artists whose work will be on display in monthly exhibits at Hedberg Public Library. In the studio today, we have the craftily talented Shannon Murphy Tollefsrud, our featured artist for the month of September. Welcome to the studio, Shannon.
Thank you, Teresa. It's nice to be with you today.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. You are a wonderful knitter. So tell us about your knitting and how long you've been doing this.
Well, I started knitting probably almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
I had a cousin had made a felted bag, and I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I would really love to do that, you know, and I had young kids, and so
Sure.
it got kind of pushed off. And then my friend, Julie Budrow, actually taught me how to do the knit stitch and the purl stitch, and I was off.
Wow. Not everyone can just be off, though.
Well, you know, the thing about knitting is there's really, it can look complicated, but you're basically doing just two different stitches and then slight variations of those stitches, the knit stitch and the purl stitch.
Very cool. And do you remember the first thing that you knitted that was like, ta-da?
Well, the first thing I knit was a scarf, which is what a lot of people start with, because it's just knit, 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 knit until it's the desired length, and then you're finished. So that was actually a good starter project for me. It gave me an opportunity to kind of practice and get, you know, the tension the way that it should be. And that scarf has a few design elements, we call them. There's a couple holes in it.
Okay.
But, you know, you got to start somewhere, right?
So it was Julie Budrow who gave you the lessons?
Yeah.
You didn't take a class or anything like
No. And then, yeah, I haven't really, I've taken a few. There used to be a, I think it was called the Rock County Knitters Guild.
that? Okay.
This was years ago. And they would have a workshop every year and would have teachers come in. And I took a few classes with that just on some technique. But I have to say that there was a knitting group that I would attend. There used to be a store called the Dragonfly Yarn Shop. It is since the owner has retired and it's not open anymore. But we would meet there once a week and knit and just have a nice, and I learned a lot through that.
Sure.
And YouTube is a maker's best friend. There's a video for every single knitting thing that you could ever possibly need to do. So I utilize that quite a bit
Nice.
too.
Are you still learning things?
Oh, yes. There's a lot to learn yet.
Oh, wow. And did someone inspire you other than your teacher that you saw other knitters?
Well, the women in my family, there are a lot of creative souls in my family. My maternal grandmother could sew anything without a pattern, and she did sew lots of stuff without patterns.
That's skill.
Yes, it is. My paternal grandmother was a knitter, and one year she knit all 10 of us grandchildren mittens. Mine were red, so I remember that well. And so I guess I do like making things with my hands, and
That's kind of a in the family gene, I think.
Yeah,
it's a real talent to be able to be crafty. And are there other types of art that you explore?
Not really. Knitting is kind of it. Yes, I would say knitting is
Your
it.
thing. So no, not other needlework.
No, I'd love to learn to crochet. There are a lot of patterns right now of making sweaters out of granny squares. If you remember granny squares from back in the day, they're making a resurgence. Maybe they were never gone.
Gosh, knitting is even making a resurgence with the younger generation. I saw articles about that I read them, that 20-somethings, they're getting together in groups. There are these knitting groups where you can just go and sit and knit, which is really nice because I think we're so often on our phones, doing this, and we're not really engaging with other people, so it gives them a chance to be together.
Yeah, it's a good way to connect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I see that it's a nice way to pass time, too. If you're,
And then you have something useful in the end as well.
right. And speaking of useful things, you have brought some wonderful pieces with you, and I want to hear about these.
Okay.
So tell us about you have 2 hats here and a beautiful pair of socks.
Yep, a pair of socks and 2
Could
hats.
see myself in those.
Yeah. Let me tell you, there's nothing like wearing a pair of hand knit socks. They fit the foot like store-bought socks cannot. So I love wearing them. The gold-colored hat is called the Seasons hat, and that is a pattern designed by Jared Flood for Brooklyn Tweed. That is made out of Shetland wool, so from the Shetland Islands, and that's a type of, it's called color work, so stranded color work. So you're actually in one row, you're knitting with 2 colors at the same time based upon the directions that the pattern.
How do you, I'm sorry for my ignorant question,
that's
how do
fine.
you do that? Do you have,
There are all different techniques for doing that. What I choose to do is I hold one color in one hand and the other color in the other hand, and then there's a pattern, which is a chart. So, we'll say, okay, we're going to do 3 stitches with the gold and then 2 stitches with the blue, and then, however it
just
goes
follow
from
the
that.
pattern?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love it.
And the socks, that pattern is called Galliano,
Here.
and that is designed by Tracy Miller.
Okay.
That was a fun pattern. There are cables and some lace. There's a panel of that on the front of the sock. So when you wear those, that shows on the front.
Yeah, they're just, and I love the color.
Yeah, you can take
too.
it off of there too if you'd
I
like.
love the color because
That
you've
just
got
slips
this.
right out of there.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then the hat,
I'll just leave this here.
I love to knit hats. Hats are one of my favorite things to knit. That hat was for my husband, and it features cables. It's the Rhett pattern, and it's made with Cascade 220, which is a worsted weight yarn. It's very warm, especially with the folded up brim. And then this hat.
Perfect for Wisconsin winters.
Yes. This is also, I have 2 sons and a husband, and between the 3 of them, I have no idea how many hats they have. But this is my husband's favorite, and he says it fits just right. It has the right amount of snugness against his head. And this one I kind of, this stitch pattern was in a sweater that I made it was the Bedford pattern.
Okay.
And I wanted to make him a hat for Christmas, so I took that stitch pattern and kind of mushed a few different patterns together and came up with this design. So did a little bit of striping on the brim.
I love
and
that.
then this is, I like knits that have texture to them like this. So.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
It really is. Do you like to give your projects
I give a
away?
Yes.
You have some for yourself?
I do.
would hope.
Yes, I do. Yeah, and actually these are some things that I've made for myself.
Show me.
This is actually a cowl.
Nice.
So this is out of Donegal tweed from Ireland.
Wow.
And this, it can look kind of intricate, but this is called mosaic knitting. So unlike the stranded knitting, which is featured in that gold hat, you're only knitting with one color at a time with this. And then you slip other stitches. So instead of knitting them, you just move them from one needle to the next without working it. So it
That
gives
creates
this different,
the little
yeah,
patterns
it gives
along
the different
color.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, wow. And then that's also multicolored yarns that you...
So these, yeah, but you're only
Working.
using one at a time. So
I
it's not
see.
as, the technique is different than,
Sure.
it's kind of a nice gateway, entryway into doing color work.
Okay.
It looks, I don't know. I think it looks intricate and maybe complicated.
It does.
But it is not.
I guess that's good to know.
Yeah.
For a
This is very
novice
accessible.
knitter.
Very accessible. You knit it flat and then you have to seam. And honestly, for me, the seaming is the trickiest part of all of it. But maybe that's just me.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
And the sweater.
And the sweater.
Wow.
This is one of my favorite projects I ever made. This too is out of Shetland wool.
Okay.
It's called Jameson's Shetland. So this was the stranded. You're knitting with the two colors here, and then there are two colors through the body as well. This is called the original pattern is Norwegian. It was translated into English. The Norwegian name of the pattern I'm not going to try to pronounce because I wouldn't do it justice. But the English translation isn't all that beautiful of a name. It's called Flea, a lady's cardigan. This particular stitch where it's the blue stitches interspersed among the gray, that's actually called a lice stitch. And then my neighbor and friend, Suzanne Hamilton, helped me make the buttons to put on it.
I know Suzanne.
Yes,
she's so great.
She is great.
That's awesome.
And she used to make buttons for a knit company in Janesville.
Okay.
But I wanted the buttons to kind of match the green that is here. And so we mixed a few different colors of polymer clay together.
It's gorgeous. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
The homemade buttons.
Yeah. And I wear this sweater a lot, like almost once a week. And when I washed it to bring it here today, I was going to, de-pill it, because sometimes knitwear can get pills on it. And this is 7 years old, and there was not a pill on it. So that speaks to the quality of the wool itself.
Of the wool. Okay. Irish wool, that's what you want to go for. That's so just eye-catching. The colors pop around the neckline, and the patterns just draw your eyes in. I love that sweater.
Thank you.
I can understand why it's a favorite.
And some people talk about wool, about, it's too itchy or it's too hot. And, yes, some wool can be itchy. This is probably a little bit more on the itchy side. But wool is very breathable. And if like an acrylic yarn, natural wool is more breathable, something that has more man-made fibers in it, then that might be a little, it doesn't
more
breathe
irritating.
as much, and it can be warmer.
Oh, it's really, really nice. So perfect for the fall.
Yeah, these cooler mornings we've been blessed with here for the last couple days. You could throw that on in the morning. You wouldn't need it in the afternoon, but yeah.
And the colors would go with just about anything. Perfect. Oh, so if you were to give advice to someone who was, just trying to start making a scarf or a hat, what would you say to a novice knitter?
Sure, I would just say stick with it. Nobody knows. I certainly wasn't great at it when I first started, but a little practice makes better.
Sure.
So just stick with it.
Right. I don't think practice makes perfect. I say practice makes us as humanly perfect as we can be.
Right. Yeah. No, there is no perfection. Each one of these, I could point out to you a mistake in each and every one of these things, but, perfect isn't the goal.
Well, these look pretty perfect anyway. So thank you for sharing your things. Have you exhibited your knitting prior to this?
No, I have not. So this is a first.
And was it difficult to find your pieces for the Hedberg display?
Well, it was hard to edit down. So yeah, I haven't actually found all of the pieces that I'll bring in yet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to.
And it's
going
not
through
making
that.
you nervous that you work here and your coworkers are looking at all your stuff.
Well, my coworkers have seen a lot of this stuff already
Okay,
because I
right,
wear
if
it
you're
all
wearing
the time.
it. Right.
They'll be like, "Oh, that again."
Oh, no. Oh, this is exciting. Are you excited, Shannon?
I am. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, so are we.
Well, thank you.
And I can't wait to see more of your gorgeous knitting. And thank you for coming in and allowing our viewers to get a sneak peek of your work and to get to know the artist behind the knitting.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yes. We invite the public to come visit the library this month to check out Shannon Murphy Tollefsrud's knitting display. Thank you all for joining me today. Please check out this program on JATV Media Services, Charter Cable Channel 994. You can also find it on JATV's YouTube channel. Remember, don't wait for another day. Go out and make some wild, whimsical, wonderful art. I'm your host, Teresa Wynn. I'll see you next time on Meet the Artist.